Hi guys, welcome to the Bangin' Tea. Wait, I think I changed the name. I think I did change the name. Where we are going to be talking about different topics that I am passionate about on my podcast because y'all know that your girl has a lot of thoughts and opinions about literally everything. I wanted my first episode to be about Palestine because I really feel like they have made so many positive changes in my life, and I wanted to kind of give tribute, is that the word? I'm not sure, to them by making my first episode about them. So I'm gonna have one of my mutuals. She's very kind. She wants to stay anonymous, so she's not gonna be saying her name or anything like that. But she's gonna come on. She's gonna talk about her story. She's gonna just we're just gonna chat about her thoughts, feelings, experiences about this whole ever since October 7th happened. So yeah, and if you know any other Palestinians that would like to be on the podcast, please have them send me an email at urwahbangimanagement@gmail.com, or they can DM me on Instagram at Urwah Bangi. And I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy. And do not forget to subscribe. I'm so sorry that this can't be on Spotify. It's because Spotify charges me like $40 every month just to upload podcasts. And that's just not very feasible for me at the moment because I have a lot of bills right now. But yeah, and I'm not monetized and I quit TikTok, as you guys know. So I don't get TikTok money either. So I can't use my TikTok money to pay for that. And I'm sorry, I'm like rambling. But hey, that's the point of a podcast, right? Anyways, let's just get into it and I hope you guys enjoy. Lovely. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being my first guest. I'm so excited.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course. So you obviously, I know you want to stay anonymous, so you don't have to like say any personal information, but do you want to kind of just give a little bit that you are willing to share?
Yeah, like what?
Like, because I know that we're going to talk about like Palestine. So do you want to mention like kind of like your story? Like, what do you identify as? Like,
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, wait. Okay, so I'm a Middle Eastern. I'm half Palestinian, and I'm living in.
I think you got cut off a little.
Oh, so I'm a Middle Eastern that's living in America, and I'm half Palestinian.
Very cool. Do you want to share the other half or do you want to keep that to yourself?
I'm half Moroccan.
Very cool. So what do you identify as?
In school, or like when someone asks me, especially now, I just say Middle Eastern because of all like the hate and stuff, and like teachers and professors really do like take that into accountability. So
Hmm.
it's just like, and I'm proud of where I come from, and so I just say Middle Eastern like to be safe.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be really hard. So that was actually one of the, so I have a few questions just to kind of ask you, but like I kind of wanted you to navigate it wherever you wanted because I know that you mentioned that there's a lot about your story that like might be interesting. So you could just like kind of share that.
Okay, let me think. Okay, so not a lot of people know this, or at least I don't think so. But now, like when people do want to visit, they go through Jordan because Jordan has like this like airport thing where then they have to drive like 4 8 hours back into the land or city. So before Jordan did that, they had to share like an airport, and with you know the country that I'm not gonna name. And so when they did that, they knew who wasn't a part of them. So they would like grab their passports and hide it, and they would not give it back no matter what. So that's like their way of locking them up in like their land. And they would also like physically like abuse people in the airport, especially elderly and women and children. And yeah, I think that's something not a lot of people know.
Yeah, I've never I didn't I knew that if you fly there through like other ways, I know that they detain you because I saw this girl talk about it, but I didn't know that they would like that sounds like kidnapping.
Basically.
That's crazy.
And they would tell you to like if you want your passport to go to this like I forgot what their name is, but it's like an office, and there would be a huge line, like people to get to the line they would sleep over. Like it's like Black Friday basically.
Is that something that you've experienced? Like, how do you know this? Like, did you go there or like was it a family member?
Yeah, it was family members that told me.
So there's essentially like there's no way that anyone could go home and visit safely.
Yeah, but I think now because Jordan opened up their like system, like I don't, it's like an airport, but then you do have to drive like 4 or 8 hours
Hmm.
depending where you live. But there's still gonna be checkpoints. They're still gonna stop you, and because they know like people fly through Jordan and stuff, so they're gonna have checkpoints and they're gonna stop you and check and and they're gonna like when they check you, they're gonna point out the most randomest like thing just to send you back or send you to jail.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Yeah, that's very sad that like no one can even go back and visit.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of people know this, but like even in the land that's so-called not occupied, there's still gonna be soldiers like walking back and forth in the land.
Yeah, I saw this image where they had said like in the West Bank, like they make the Palestinians live in like the bottom and then there's like a wire thing on top and then like the soldiers like throw trash there.
Oh, and I know like they cut off like water and electricity randomly for no reason.
Yeah, that's so sad. So is it your are you okay sharing like what side of the family is Palestinian? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, it's my outside.
Your dad's side?
Yeah.
So was your dad like born there
Yeah.
and then he came here?
And
Do
I know so my grandpa he was a teacher.
mm-hmm.
And so they like do not want the Palestinians to be educated. So when the war was going on, um, the teachers or like the adults that just had information, they would like educate the kids like in the spaces of their own homes. And like I think someone got caught, and so you know the end result.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandma, she wasn't a nurse or anything, but like in the war she would give out like shots and stuff, because that was also restricted and she would do it like privately.
This was during the Nakba, right?
Yes.
So did they like I know that someone had said like every Palestinian has like their story. Like I'd love to know more about that. Like how did like what happened to your family during that and then like when were they displaced and all that.
So we or they were in the West Bank, so like I feel like the West Bank they do get affected, but not as bad as like Gaza. And
Hmm.
so my dad, like, I'm gonna tell his story because I know more of his story. So so he was looking through a newspaper and then he saw like I think like a college at New York that he wanted to apply to and stuff. And so he like, he started collecting like these pins and started selling them to tourists and he would speak to them in Hebrew because like there everyone they knew Arabic and then they knew Hebrew. So he would start like selling pins and stuff so he would collect money and his dad was a teacher so like that also collected him money and then there's this um thing I forgot what it's called but it's like something like that. It starts with PA but it's like basically aid that funded Palestinians to go to school and then so one time he got stopped. Oh, because he was visiting this college in Lebanon and like back then, it wasn't as strict as right now. So like the borders weren't like wired or anything. So then he got stopped and he got asked like, "What are you doing?" and stuff. And then he says, "I'm going to college in Lebanon." And they stopped him and they're like, "Wait, how like is the PA thing funding it?" And then he kind of lied and said no, because like if he said yeah, then he's gonna get like sent to jail and stuff. So then they said, "So how are you funding this?" And then he said, "My dad's paying for everything." So then, he got accepted to the one in New York, and that's how he came to America. And he came to America with $100 only. Um, and then like slowly, most like my other uncles and aunts started doing the same, but of course not all of them, because I mean, as much as heartbreaking as it is, it's still your land, and I feel like it's just like something you can't like live without.
Yeah, like I know a lot of the Palestinians right now, like they had said like they don't want to leave. And then like after like what it's been like 5, 6 months now, now I've noticed that they're like starting to leave, but it's so sad that they even have to like be put in that position to where it's like, do you want to stay? Like you shouldn't have to be displaced, but it's like, what do you do eventually?
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was the Eid of 2016 or 2017. It was, they were praying at Masjid al-Aqsa, which apparently they have to share now or something. And like they know when it's like special holidays and stuff, so they started like kidnapping like children and stuff, and then they would send them straight to jail for like no reason at all.
That's so sad. Like yeah, because I've been seeing that on the news too, like for a few years now since I've been on social media. Like they always attack during Ramadan and on Eid, like always. And I think that's
Yes,
so
and
sad.
the president thinks that there will be a ceasefire during this month.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know why she thinks that. That really irritated me. I mean, you can give your feelings on it too, but like when she was like, "Oh, we should have a temporary ceasefire." What's that gonna do, girl? Like,
Exactly, it's
we need a
been
permanent
75
ceasefire.
years.
But what did you mean by they have to share the masjid? Share it with who?
Because
What are they gonna do with it?
I have no idea.
How does that make any sense? They're what?
I know. And they're always guarding it because they know there's gonna be tourists and visitors, and yeah.
That's crazy.
And they have every right to just storm in your house for no reason at all.
Oh, that is so sad. Do you still have family there?
Yes, I do, in the West Bank. And one of my uncles, he's a doctor, and he's like training his kids and to be doctors. And so he owns a hospital and he works at another hospital. And he says like right now is like the busiest he's ever been, and he has no time to like be both places at once. And he says that like he's glad that he's in the West Bank because he would not like be able to catch up on anything if he were in Gaza.
Yeah, because it's like really, really bad over there.
Hmm.
But I've been seeing that they've been like moving over to the West Bank too, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
How are you
And
and
now
your
they're trying
family
to
doing?
claim Bethlehem, which is the city Jesus was born in. So it's like a holy like land. And they want to claim that because Christians like the only well, some of them the only reason they're like interested in this somewhat is because Bethlehem is in there. So now they want to like trying to occupy that.
It sounds really capitalistic to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Because it doesn't sound like they want it for religious reasons. It sounds like they want it so they can like profit off of the tourists that'll go there.
And I was hearing this Jewish guy on TikTok, and he was saying how like in the Torah it says like the Palestine will be free and stuff, but there's just some of them are like really ignorant into like accepting that.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's people that aren't very close to Judaism. Like I think that it's just kind of like how there's like Muslims and Christians who like don't actually read the books and then just do whatever they
Oh
want.
yeah,
They just still claim it. I think that's what it mostly is.
I think so.
Yeah, because I've seen like the more religious ones. But then again, that one girl on TikTok, what is her name? Miriam? That had me shook.
Yeah, it was just annoying that like she just said she was like all for it and all for humanity, and then she switched up and said she was just scared.
Yeah, that was crazy. And it's funny because her grandma, I wonder what her grandma would say about what she said.
Her grandma's probably like Polish, and that's like, oh my God, I don't know how people are like don't realize because like in the whenever they were playing for like the Asian Cup, they didn't play for the Asian Cup. They played for like they played for Poland, I think.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
And like if they took a DNA test, they would have Polish DNA.
I know, literally none of it would be Middle Eastern at all.
Exactly. And if you think about it, it's just like they're the only non-Arab country in the Middle East. So it just like it's so like thrown off. And like no one like none of the Middle Eastern countries claim them. So it's just like they're just like their own thing. So it's like might as well like
No, literally, I don't understand. Like, just go find a different country. Like, I'm not.
exactly. And apparently
kidding.
like whenever I don't know when, but they like I think it was like I'm not sure, but it was like Costa Rica or something. They like saw a different land just like as of their backup land.
How, how do they not know that they're wrong is what I wonder.
No, well, I don't know. I think that some of them do. They're just like really enforced because like there's like many like soldiers or like ex-soldiers that like share their story and stuff. And
Yeah.
they just like I feel like the images they see, like some of them like they just can't handle it, so they end up committing, you know.
Yeah. From like the guilt, you think?
Yeah, and like now like there's like that new like psychological thing that's like big higher than PTSD.
I don't think I've heard about that actually.
And they're saying that like Palestinian like and during the war they like developed something that's higher than PTSD because of all the images they're seeing, especially the
Oh,
children.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think they put a name to it, but I know I remember reading about how they technically wouldn't qualify for PTSD because PTSD is after the trauma. They're
Yeah,
still going through it. So it's like it's significantly worse.
yeah. And I can't imagine like when you're young, like 4 or 5, you're supposed to have a fun childhood, not see people, just be slaughtered in front of you.
Yeah, those poor babies.
Yeah.
I knew a girl in, I think I was like in high school, and this was like, obviously, like, there's no education in the school system about like what all happens. And then I wasn't very like involved in our Muslim community either because the Muslim community here is a little bit racist. So I didn't really know anything about this until I like got on social media myself. But I knew this girl in high school who claimed that she was half that, right? And
Mhm.
she was half black and then half that. And I was thinking about her the other day and I was just like, girl, I don't think they even would accept you. Like,
Yeah.
that's so like,
There's this girl in my high school. She's so weird. Whenever the Russian-Ukrainian war was going on, she claimed she was half Russian, half Ukrainian. And when this was going on, she claimed that she was full of that. And it was just so like, and people would believe her and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for what your family's going through." And it was just so cringy.
so she's just like making up that she's like different ethnicities.
Yeah, and she's white. Like she's literally white.
Girl, it's I don't even know what it's giving. It's giving victimization for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How are you and your family doing, like watching everything happen?
I feel like it was just very sad. And like, what's worse is that like we're kind of used to hearing stuff like that.
Hmm.
So we kind of like at first we were like not shocked at all, which sounds kind of bad, but it's like we were like used to hearing stuff like that. So, but then like whenever, and I feel like because this is like the most documented genocide ever, so like the more images that came out, the more like it was just so sad. And like we couldn't like and I feel like everyone like they just couldn't move on with their like normal everyday life without remembering the images in their head.
Yeah, but also kind of like in the beginning, like you kind of mean like desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad. I'm sure
Yeah.
it must be like really worrisome, especially with like the family there, like worrying about like, are you gonna hear back from them?
Yeah, it is. And but I have to say, like, this is the year that I've seen the most like support, especially ongoing, because during like quarantine or like a little bit after, I know there was like a protest, but like quickly, like after like a month or two, it was like quickly forgotten about, and there was no boycotting or anything, and like we've been protesting for like a while now, but it's never been as big as this. So
Yeah,
and like in college or like, well, in college mostly that's when I've seen it, but like in public, like people like represent like they'll wear the kufiya or just like a little pin or just like anything. So and like they like walk really proudly and stuff. So I feel like I've never seen that much recognition. So,
yeah,
the bright side to this is that like there's actually like a movement that's been long lasting, unlike other movements.
yeah. It's been nice to see how, because yeah, I remember so in our city we had only two protests in 2021. And then right after that, like you said, like they forgot about it and just kept
Yeah.
living their lives. And then this time, I think even today, like they're still having protests. Like they started an
Mm.
SPL at our university. They organize events to like call your representatives and write letters to representatives and all that. And they've been like very vocal about boycotting too. So that has been really nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the influencers who have kind of, I mean, I don't want to say used it for clout, but like they kind of have used it for clout? Like, do you have
I
thoughts
feel like
about
that's so
it?
heartless.
Mhm.
And like for me it's like I'm like used to people like doing that. So it's like I'm not surprised, but it's just still heartbreaking that someone would use that for their advantage because like I know for sure everyone that like does that and everyone that hates would not survive a second or even a millisecond in one of those children's shoes. So
Yeah.
they have no right to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Those poor kids. I honestly, I can't imagine like seeing those kids or even anyone and what they're going through and then using it just to like just to get recognition and like applauded.
Yeah, like, it's like that, like, "Do you want a cookie now?" Like, it's like they're just so annoying.
Yeah. Have you had to unfollow influencers or like content creators because of that?
Yeah, even friends. Like, I know this girl that I was, like, close with in high school for, like, all, like, 4 years. She, like, blocked me for it, and I was like,
What?
"Okay, good." Like, the trash took itself out. Like, I was so glad she blocked me 'cause like, of course, it was, like, a little heartbreaking 'cause, like, I would, like, all the memories and stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, I would rather be with humanity than this ignorant girl.
That's crazy though. Like how could
And
what?
she like, everywhere, like, all social media platforms, and her best friend that they still, like, post together, but this was, like, the first week of the course. I feel like, a lot of people weren't that educated the first week, and
Mhm.
her friend, it wasn't because 'cause they're, like, Christian, so they, like well, not I'm not saying Christians don't support it, but, like, Christians have they're, like I don't know, cause they say that that land is, like, holy, but then they also I don't know. I just know there's, like, religious thing, that, like, supports that or something, but and then her best friends are, like, posting, like, pro, like, Palestine stuff, so it just kinda confused me because I think maybe now, because like, her best friend supports it, because she's like, a follower, so she'll probably, like, support it now because her best friend does, but I don't know, I blocked her too, so
That's really crazy though, because do you think that she'd ever reach out and apologize and take accountability for that?
no, like, she's really small-minded and just I don't know, she has, like, this, like, mindset where she thinks she's, like, this popular girl or, like, I don't know, which is it's funny because like, that mindset wouldn't even have been there if it wasn't for me, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's crazy though. I'm sorry that that happened. That must have really hurt to be close to someone for so long and then all of a sudden they're like acting that way. Because it's like,
I
how did
know.
you not know that? I mean, she obviously knew you were Palestinian.
And yeah, she did, and she would always, like, every time, like, I brought it up or something, or, like, I would, like, show her a video, cause before we were, like, that close, like, she wasn't really educated, so I would say yeah, like and I would send her, like, videos on my For You page and, like, especially, like, videos that says, like, bit that shows Beth Lehem and stuff, and then she would be like, "Oh, that's so sad," like, "Oh my god, that's like, I'm crying," or whatever, like, stuff like that. So it just threw me off so much.
Yeah, it sounds like it's very unexpected for sure.
Yeah, it was just confusing.
Yeah. Have you lost any other friends?
No, not for that reason. I think like there was this girl from my middle school that we followed each other and then she posted pray for that so I had to unfollow her. I like blocked her. But and then I found out from someone else that she's like she only has like Jewish and Christian friends that are also um not that open or like not that educated to stuff like that. So and because I know her, like one of her best friends is like Palestinian, so I think either she talked to her about it or she just like blocked her too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is there a large Palestinian population where you live?
Uh, yes, there's a lot of like, like Arabs and Desis also, so they also like boost up the support.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always going to be like one or two haters in every like group.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say same. Like our city, if someone's Arab, they're most likely Palestinian. Like I feel like where I live, it's very rare to come across a non-Palestinian Arab. Like there's always
Um,
I feel like I've always had at least one in each of my classes too.
oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't, but I know there's like a lot of Arabs and stuff. But like where I went to high school, it was kind of just, it wasn't small. It was just not the Arabs there. They're either whitewashed or just, or like, like they would say they're Arab and stuff, but they were just not represented, which annoyed me because I was like the only one that would represent my like countries and stuff. And like in IFest, which is like international festival where you like show off your culture and stuff. Like I would always like represent mine and they would just like not care about it. And it would just annoy me so much.
Yeah, because it probably would have been really beneficial for people to, be exposed to Palestinian culture at such a young age. Because now that you mention that, I'm thinking back and all the Palestinians that I went to school with, like growing up, they never mentioned that they were Palestinian.
I feel like there were, well, I don't know for sure, but I know like whenever the war was going on and stuff, people like would tell their kids don't say anything about like whose side you're on and stuff because it was just scary. And especially like after finding out the blacklist, it was just like scary. And like I know like not personally, but I do know like people that like got like their educated was affected due to their like support.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really sad. I've seen a few people too, and actually my mom's best friend knows someone who was in med school, and I believe he got kicked out of med school for
Oh my God,
posting
no,
pro-Palestine content.
no.
Yeah, that is so sad. Do you feel as though you're in a situation where you can't be expressive about your stance because of work or school?
Um, well, my school, like they've had protests and stuff, but I feel like at the like end it's between like you and the professor because that's the person that grades like your work and stuff.
Yeah.
So far I haven't had any like hate or anything. But I remember last semester there was this woman and she either looked Arab because her last name was Arab, but at the same time she could have been from that like she literally looked like the Jewish girl on like Miriam. She literally looked like Miriam. So I was and she would always like she saw my last name and then she started like looking at me like not weird. She's just I don't know if it was like weird or like she like knew something. Like she looked at me like she knew something. And so like it was like the whole semester and she never like did anything like hatefully, but like you can tell like every time she would looked at me, she always like knew something. But like I never figured out what that something was.
That is so weird.
Yeah,
I'd be so uncomfortable. Like, ew, why are you staring?
literally.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Crazy though. Like her having an Arab sounding last name, but then do they do that? Do they, the people from that non-existent area, do they, because I know they changed their names to sound more ethnic, but do they steal Arab names?
I'm not sure. I've honestly I don't know. I've never met someone from there, so like I don't know how their names work. But like when I hear their names, it was always like like how like Russian names sound to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what's her name? That girl who was Superwoman or whatever. I know her first name is Gal, but I don't know how to say her last name. But like I her name does not sound like it literally just sounds Polish to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I actually had a supervisor at work who kept saying that non-existent country's name, and then he would stare at me when he said it. Pissed me off so bad. I don't have him this year, but he was my supervisor all of last year. It drove me insane. I felt like I couldn't say anything in front of him because then he'd like fire me or, like kick me out.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was awful.
Yeah. And I feel like it also, like, caused, like, a lot of Islamophobia after the war, especially, like, for hijabis in America, and I felt really bad because there's just, like, girls that just wanna, complete, like, their deen and stuff, and they,
Mhm.
are just, like, looked at very, very terribly.
Yeah,
Which
it's
confused
definitely
me because, like, what's a hijabi gotta do with, like, the war? Like, you're the one who, like, caused the war. Why are you looking at her?
no, literally. And then the fact that also they think that every Muslim is from like the same country too. Like they're so small-minded and
That's
in
how you know they're not, like, real Middle Eastern, because like, Middle Easterns, like, they'll like, one look and they'll know exactly where you're from. So, like
exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but surprisingly, I was really glad that most of my supervisors have been really like they're pro-Palestine. So that's been really nice because I would not have expected white people to be pro-Palestine, especially from
yeah.
the beginning.
And, like, in college, like, last semester, I took history, and I was, like it was, like, before well, I don't know what date, but something and so I knew they would ta I didn't know if they were gonna talk about it for sure or not, but I was, like, kinda, like, scared to see what he would talk about, but, like, luckily, he talked about, like, how, like, they welcomed them after the Holocaust and stuff, so, it's just, like, everyone who, thought it was a country before the Holocaust, got, settled or, seated and stuff.
So they were believing wrong history in a history class?
Yeah, and, in high school, I remember, it was iFest, and so I was, that trend where you make someone, everyone, hold up, like a paper and stuff, so I was doing the Free Palestine, trend, and then this one guy's like, "It didn't exist before something," and I was like, "Yes, it did," and he's like, "No, it didn't," and I was just, thinking about that, the whole day, and I was like, "He's so dumb," because, I don't it's it's so they're so dumb.
No, literally, they're so dumb. I really feel like it's so embarrassing being American. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
Oh,
like,
I do, I can't wait to move out, but, you know
yeah, no, same. I'd love to leave here because it's like, did these people not pay attention in school when they taught us about primary and secondary sources? Because they literally get false information off of TikTok and then use their source as TikTok. And it's like any idiot could get on TikTok and say something that doesn't make it true.
Yeah, I don't know, they just I feel like it's, the evolution and you're, raising apes because 'cause they're just, at that level.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's crazy. So that kind of leads to my next question, which is, did you ever feel like discrimination about being Palestinian growing up like through the school system?
I would say, not as much. I've shared a little, stories and stuff, but where I went to school since elementary school, it was always diverse. So I would say I didn't really get hate, and I feel people just did not know what that was. I remember I said where I was from to this girl, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" So and it was for both my countries too. So I feel like they just are very uneducated. So it just leaves them to this they just don't really care like that. And this
Yeah.
was before the war too. So
Yeah. So she probably knows what it is now, but back
yeah.
then it sounds like she just didn't know anything really. Well, that's good that you didn't have to deal with a lot of discrimination growing up because I remember hearing a few stories like from people online saying like they always felt singled out during like childhood and elementary school, middle school and high school and all that, and then like getting comments from teachers.
I when I was growing up, I knew that was happening, but I didn't think it would affect me in America. So I was just and then this was when I was younger. So it would just be I wouldn't really understand it that much. And yeah.
Do you remember? I don't really know how old you are, and so you don't have to say if you don't want to, but do you remember being treated any differently after 9/11?
I wasn't really no, but I do know sometimes no, well actually okay, so I know now hijabis are more you know, the stereotypes are less, especially now that they're models and agents and more common to see, especially in Houston, Texas. So I feel I wasn't, but of course there's still like those jokes, but it was jokes from people that like were Arab or Desi, so it's just I've never had it from someone that wasn't Arab or actually I have, but it was like a jokingly matter.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you haven't like been getting the 9/11 comments like super severely because I remember like I got the 9/11 comments really bad. Like they would say like, "Oh, is he your uncle?" And I'm sitting there like, "Dude, we're
Oh
different."
yeah.
He's like, yeah. But then would you say that the treatment that do you feel like there's different treatment after October 7th?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was just very like, cause like you would walk, and that's the thing, because like I would walk into like a store or something, and like even the cat, like it's just like you don't know who's on what side. So like I don't want to like interact with anyone that supports whatever, but it's like you don't know, cause you'll go and like you'll go to the cashier and like you'll be friendly and stuff, but it's like in the back of your head it would be like I really don't want to like interact with someone that supports whatever. So, but me personally, I didn't get hate. It was just shocking. Like everything, like I just could not like process anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I get what you're saying about the when you're interacting with people, it's like because even for me, like when people look at me, like I just smile because like we're basically conditioned to do that, right? So I'll smile, but then in the back of my head, I'm like, wait, what if you're a racist?
Yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to add?
Not that I can remember, no.
Oh, I was gonna ask, have you been seeing like the Sean King stuff?
A little, yeah.
Do you have any thoughts and feelings on it?
Well, I haven't really been like I see it just like randomly when I'm scrolling on people's stories. And the most recent thing I've heard is that like he reverted before Ramadan. So I feel like from what I know, because I don't know a lot, but from what I know, I think he was like uneducated and he became educated in a good way, which I'm proud of. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel as though okay, so I guess I should tell you a little bit about him first, but so essentially I believe he's half black. I could be wrong though, but he was a really big advocate for the Black Lives Matter movement. And he's been advocating for them for like as long as I can remember. But he got exposed in, I believe it was 2020 after it was George Floyd, I believe this was his name. After Floyd was murdered, he got kind of exposed for scamming because he starts up donations for like families of, for example, like George Floyd, like I believe he did set up, and this is all like what I can remember, so like my information could be slightly off, but allegedly he set up a donation fund for his family and then didn't give the money to his family, and from what I heard, I believe George Floyd's like family had said that they didn't get anything, but like I said, this is all just what I believe I've seen. I'm not saying that this is true, just covering myself legally because I don't want no beef. But then, yeah, so he got exposed for that. And then I didn't see anything of him again until October 7th. And then it seemed as though, from my perspective, that he rebranded himself as a Palestine advocate. From my perspective and many others, it did seem like he had found his new way to scam. And then obviously, like, and then he had said, I don't know if you saw this, but he had said, he helped negotiate the release of Palestinian hostages.
Did he provide proof? Because I don't
No,
want to believe him anymore.
he didn't provide proof of anything.
Oh. So yeah, he's probably like doing it to other influencers. But speaking of George Floyd, I remember seeing this picture in either I think Gaza or like any other city. But it was they like spray painted on the border like a picture of George Floyd and he's wearing a kufiya and the flag behind him. And so I think that's like so cute. And it just sucked because like they like there's I don't know, like many people don't know that there's Afro-Palestinians, but of course there's not much of them. So
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, and I remember also in 2020, the Palestinians were telling everyone advocating for the Black Lives Matter movement like how to protect themselves from like what is it, like the tear gas and all that.
Oh yeah.
Like it was them because the police is like trained by the IDF.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I remember that as well. And then, yeah, but like Sean King, now everyone's like, oh, he's reverted, like he's good. But then it's like, and I want to believe that he reverted for the right reasons and give him the benefit of the doubt as a Muslim. But like, it's hard. Like, girl, do you really think he negotiated? Like, they don't know who you are.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing it for clout, just to like boost himself up again. And like like I feel like with all these influencers, like they're gonna get their karma back. And like especially like him, if he is doing it for like clout or whatever, then he's gonna get his karma like really badly, especially now that he's like Muslim or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't. I know that as a non-Palestinian, like I see that and I get irritated. So I was just like, I wonder how it would feel as a Palestinian seeing all that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of used to it. Like I remember hearing the story, and this was like in Palestine, like in their university, where like this kid, like he like wanted to like get a protest going on, and like he was like hyping everyone up about it and stuff. And then so they were protesting, and then as soon as the soldiers came, he was the first person out the door. So like I feel like I'm just used to hearing people just like just doing it for like power or just like respect or whatever, which is sad for me to say, but yeah,
It is sad. It's very sad, and I'm sorry about that.
thank you.
I know that when like I mean it's not the same thing, but like for me being Punjabi and then like most of South Asia not caring about us whenever they use our music or whatever, I'm like, you don't advocate for us. Like, why are you want to use us for your fun and then you don't actually care about us? And I know that that hurts. And so with obviously I know that our struggles are not the same and I know that what's happening in Palestine is significantly worse. But
Mhm.
it's like if I felt that way over a smaller thing, like I can't imagine. And I mean, like you said, you're kind of desensitized to it. And that's sad that like, because it's like, what do? You either become desensitized or you stay angry.
Yeah, and it's like I'm a very like sensitive person, and like when I see images like that, like I will like have nightmares for days. So like before, like I would just like obviously like I'm educated and stuff, and like I want to see pictures, but it's like not too much. And so since the war, like there was very like graphic pictures and videos that it's just like I just like I wanted to get myself to see it no matter what. So it was just like so sad. And about yeah.
Yeah, seeing those pictures, honestly, they're very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you have to see that. I mean, it's sad that we have to see that. And honestly, I didn't expect it to go on this long. I really thought that, and maybe I was delusional, and obviously, like, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings about it too. Is like, I really thought that by boycotting and by protesting, like, by month three, we'd have made some progress.
Yeah, me too. And apparently, like, I heard like from a friend that like Starbucks doesn't support them anymore. But it's like now, like after what? Like no one's gonna get your drinks anymore. And like it just like every time well now, like even in the university, actually in the university they're like replacing McDonald's and Starbucks, which is like a really like heartwarming act. But like whenever I do pass by it, or like just like stores like even and there's cars there, it just makes me so shocked. And it's like one time like one day I'll pass by it and like there'll be no cars, and then the other day I'll pass by it and there's cars. So it's just confusing.
Yeah, and I think that even if they don't support the other side anymore, like I feel like I feel like if we went, like we would be giving in, you know?
Yeah, there would be no point.
Yeah, I feel like it'd show that like we don't.
And they probably just, well, I'm not sure, but they probably don't care for humanity reasons, but more like financial reasons.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I agree. Like I think that they probably saw the hit and then they were
Yeah,
like,
because it did
"Oh,
hit
let's
hard.
care." Yeah. I feel like I've also seen a lot more ads for all those brands that were boycotting.
Yeah. There's like some makeup influencers that like will be all like, supporting and stuff. And then I still see that known makeup brands that they use, which like for me, it's so hard because makeup shopping used to be my favorite thing to do. And now when I go, I like get excited and then I remember all these brands, which it makes me sad. And it's like for me, I like affordable brands. So it's like and like a lot of the stuff that do support like are on the pricier range. So it's just like annoying.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to look up brands to like, because I like to give people safe brands. That way it's less overwhelming. And I think the only two I found that are affordable is, what is it? Is it LA Girl or LA Colors? I can't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then ColourPop as well.
Oh, okay. That's
I
good.
know it's
Because
only
I was like really like looking at your like list and stuff. And it was just annoying to see all these like good brands that I like would stock up on. Just like go like it was just annoying.
I know. It does suck. Actually, my favorite brand, I thought that they were safe, and then I recently found out that their second investor is very, very pro
Oh my God.
bad side. And so, that really sucked, but I think that's God telling me that I shouldn't be wearing makeup anyways. So I'm just gonna take it as that. And yeah, but I agree. It sucks that most of the options are really pricey because it makes it really hard.
Yeah, and it's like very limited. So I just like really want like because I know there's a lot of like people that are pro, that are like millionaires. I just want them to just buy the corporate or whatever and just like make it like pro Palestine again.
Yeah, that would be really nice. And it's crazy because I feel like growing up, I felt like I was taught that monopoly was illegal. So how are they allowed to buy every single brand?
Right? It's
That
so
really
annoying.
confuses me. But I think that I agree. Like I think that one of the pro-Palestinian like billionaires should just make a drugstore brand
Exactly. That would be so nice.
or
And
buy
then
one
now
of
like
them.
have you seen that they're replacing Pepsi with like Pali Cola or something?
Yes, I wonder how that tastes and I wonder how readily available it's gonna be.
Me too, because I want it to be available soon. And like that's just like stuff I don't understand because like how are you like a cookie company or like an ice cream or like some like a makeup company that just like is involved in stuff like that? It's just it always confused me.
It's definitely all just capitalistic, I feel. I really feel like they just have a bunch of investors behind them, and then from there, they just bought out people's morals.
Hmm.
Because also, like, I was looking at shoes the other day, and literally, there's like not a lot of good shoe brands that are pro-Palestine. Like, a lot of them are pro the wrong side. And I was just sitting there, like, why does this fake country need so many shoe stores?
Exactly. Oh my God. And they're not even like all that.
How do they even have that much of a population to need that many shoe stores?
Yeah. Ew. And it's like they're just things that you just like I know I was talking to a friend and then like Walmart is on the boycott list and she's like I can't not boycott that because that's like an everyday like thing and that's like like things I can afford. And so I was saying like it's okay because like it's the intentions that matters and like you know but at the same time it's like annoying because and there's just stuff that's like yeah, you need or like you don't think of like whenever you go to like Ross or Marshalls or just like any like store like that, like you go in and you go like buy like clothes and shoes and like stuff like that. But you don't like have that like in the back of your head like oh does this brand support that or not?
Yeah, I see I agree and I see what you're saying. Like I was talking about this with my sister's best friend. She's Palestinian and so we were talking about it and we kind of concluded that you obviously can't avoid everything, especially living in America. So like
Uh-huh.
I would definitely avoid Walmart like at all costs. But like even Target supports them to an extent, but Target's like less supportive than Walmart. And it's like there's some items that you genuinely just can't get anywhere else. So I
Yeah.
can understand going there for that, but like you said, like the Ross and the Marshalls, like I really feel like would it kill people to just buy their clothes online from a non-supporting brand. I feel like a lot of it though, like I have empathy for sure. Like I understand like for example, like I needed a steroid cream, so I went to or it was hydrocortisone or whatever. And so I went to Target and I bought one, right? Like and I needed it like that day. But I can't understand like luxury items like you don't need an outfit like that day. Like you
Yeah,
can
and I
always
feel
find
like
from a safe
people
price.
obviously are on a money cut. So like the only like other option would be Shein. So it's like it's just so like not like the options aren't like very limited. And like
I
I
feel
know
like
like my
instead of Shein, they could just go to thrift stores.
that's true.
Like, I feel like there is a solution for a lot of things, and it just comes down to, and maybe I'm being too harsh, and I can admit that, and you can tell me that. But I feel like there's a solution to every problem. You just have to want the solution.
Yeah, and I remember my friend, this was before anything, but like she like lives in Cali and like in Cali she would say that like to her house all the way to the store it would be like a 10-minute drive and the only like the closest store to her was Walmart. So I feel like it's also like to some people it's like money and convenience.
Yeah, I agree. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this whole thing has taught me that convenience is not always a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Cause like, never mind, it's fine. Cause like I'm giving up makeup, which I know is like not big to some, but to me it was like something that would make me happy and like it would be my favorite brand. And now it's like I can't enjoy that as much anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I feel like everyone knows, like, I was such a big makeup girly, and now I'm just like, I
Yes.
don't think I even care anymore.
Yeah. I don't want to care. I just want things to be more like on the affordable side.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's fair.
And like now, like I have like stuff like stocked up because I would always like buy like two of each or whatever. So it's like now when they run out, I really don't know what I would do.
Well, you can always reach out. I'm always more than happy to try to find you a BDS safe replacement.
I will, don't worry.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, about what you said about like the whole like we don't think about like the things like while we're shopping. Like, I was in Vegas like the first week of February and I didn't book the hotel, but and I really didn't like wallahi I really did not. But I found out after that it was an Israeli hotel and I didn't know until after I posted it and
Um,
someone searched it up. And I deleted it immediately once I found out because I was like, oh shoot, like I'm not trying to promote this. Like I deleted it, but it's like I didn't even think to search that up, you know? Like
yeah, it's like a
pretty good.
no-brainer.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good with searching things up. Like it was I was like, whoa, like how did I just not like because like you wouldn't think that what is a hotel in Vegas doing? Like
I know.
so then it's like we have to start thinking about that too. And so it's like, wow, like
You can't even enjoy a vacation anymore, like with comfort.
literally, yeah. Like even like I was baking a waste of birthday cake the other day and I was like sitting there in the aisle like just staring at all these brands and I was like, okay, like all of these brands support, but which one supports the least?
Yeah.
Because like what do you do? Like it's really hard. And then even like my friend had been saying like there's some brands that they can't replace due to like mental health reasons why some things I don't want to air her business out loud, but like she had a valid reason for not replacing a certain brand. And I was like, you know what? Like at the end of the day, like that makes sense.
Yeah, like I remember yesterday, me and my friend, because I was saying like something about Sam, and I didn't know Sam's Club was on the list. So I was like talking about Sam's Club, and she's like, "Oh, honey, like don't shop there anymore." And it's like confusing because like that's like the only like affordable store that sells in bulk like near me, and it's just confusing because now I really don't know what to do.
Are they on like the official boycott list? I had no idea.
Me neither. And I didn't know until she told me, so I didn't really, and this was last night, so I didn't have time to like do my research on it.
Yeah, I've heard people say that Costco's also on the list, but then
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
but then, like you said, like, and you know how I feel about like if they like there's a solution to every problem, but I feel like for an issue like this, it's like okay, like I think that's just one of the things that you really just can't avoid because, like you said, like it's affordable.
Yeah, and it's annoying because like how is the whole store affordable? And then there's some products in the store that are also like supporting whatever.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, like you said, I think all we can do is our best, and it's about the intention and
Yeah.
obviously like clothes and things we can make accommodations because realistically all of us have a lot of clothes and at the end of the day that's a luxury but like things like food and essential items like that those are not a luxury, those are like a necessity, and so I think in that category all we can do is our best.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
What are your hopes for Palestine going forward?
I hope that, well, like one of my hopes in the past was that it would get recognition and like people would actually like do something about it and it would last. So I feel like from that, and I hope that still keeps going no matter what. And I hope that like the next president would actually do something about it and that like these make these brands that we have to boycott, someone would buy them and it can be non-boycotted because there's brands that like even if they're boycotted, like I would still love. I just wouldn't repurchase like rebuy it unless it's like safe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hope that like in the country itself, I hope that like people can rebuild it and like get like an underground like storage just in case because most likely it's gonna happen again, but like really like supply them like with an underground storage like with healthcare aid and like hygiene and like just stuff like that. And yeah.
That was a really good answer. Yeah. That was very well thought out. Yeah, I also hope the same, and I hope that their pain and suffering at least can turn people into better people so that way they get the credit for that and that they get rewarded for that. And I do hope that they will be free.
Me too. And I have hope that it will. I don't know when. And I just like right now, like free is like a luxury, which like I really want. But
Yeah.
like non like I just want it to just stop and like for them to have like their city rebuilt and like, just like have family and like not see their family go away day by day as
Mhm.
if right now. But like in the future I would want it definitely to be free.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Like you want to say more realistic things, and that makes sense, and I agree. And you know what I find so sad is that it's like free is such a like unrealistic goal as of right now that
Yeah.
you said like, "Oh, I just want them to have their city rebuilt." Like
Yeah,
that made me so sad that like this is where we're at right now with that.
it is. And like it's just sad like to see like those like posts or TikToks that's like before and after the October 7th. And then also like it's also sad to see those AI images of like if it is free.
Yeah.
But it does like give someone like hope and an idea or somewhat hope.
Yeah, I do hope and pray that this ends soon and that, like you said, I hope your goals for them and your wishes for them come true, inshallah.
I mean, inshallah.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go now because I know it's been a good while,
It
but
did
thank you
not feel
so
like
much.
an hour.
I know it went by really fast, but I really appreciate you for coming on and talking to me about this because I really wanted my first episode to be for them, and I'm not monetized, but if
Yeah.
I ever am monetized, I'll definitely be giving the money that I make from this episode to them.
Of course, anytime. And I can't wait to see how this podcast's gonna go in like your future podcasts.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm hoping that I can get a few more Palestinians to get on with me and kind of tell their stories because I think that like hearing about your family and it was really like it was nice to hear and like I feel like it's educational as well and I think that it'd be really important, especially because my audience is not very Palestinian. Like I feel like they would benefit from hearing more stories. So I'm hoping that I can get as many as I possibly can, but I'm glad that you were my first guest, especially because like I know you, so
Yeah,
I felt good with you on, so I really, really appreciate it.
it's okay. I'll do this anytime and it's for a good cause. And like I know you like your intentions and stuff. So like it made me comfortable.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you.
Anyways, I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. I hope you do too.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was the end of our podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment about your thoughts if you learned anything new, any opinions that you might have. I'd love to hear any feedback. And I'm sorry that this is going to be on YouTube, guys. I cannot. I mentioned before, like, Spotify is the goal, but I that costs money that I don't have. But stay tuned for the next episode. I'm hoping to get it up as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.